So we're going to use, as we do with the retriever and chain tools, allow us to expand our tool functionalities outside of what is just provided in these kind of more common tool modules. So on the chain tool side, we will set this up as a Graph Cypher QA chain. And again, that's what it is. It just basically allows you, it's a graph database, right? So there is now all of a sudden these almost dimensionalities that are existing towards what we're operating on. So essentially you can connect to Postgres or MySQL or different types of Apache they have connectors. And then we're able to start streaming and just really have that data be represented and allowed to us and LLMs to work with. So this is a third act solution because we build this agent and then we figure out the capabilities of how to figure out the... Sorry. Anyways, so the Neo4j stuff is like Composio, but for perhaps better data understanding and management and overall ecosysteming around. So we're going to set it up and potentially then, I'll do a follow-up of some sort or, basically cover it in some base. So for that, we have a chain tool that's going to connect to the tool output. We have Neo4j, and then we can search for graph. And we have this Graph Cypher QA chain. So just, let's see. It's an advanced chain for question answering against a Neo4j graph by generating Cypher statements. So very exciting and definitely want to be as knowledgeable as I can be with it soon. All right. So let's connect this to the chain. But the way Neo4j works, pretty straightforward, almost a Pinecone dashboard, instance-based or many others like Redis. And seems, that it's very straightforward, very well done. You get Aura as the free layer. And we're going to say Neo4j. 5,000 advanced, fine. So that connects our graph. And then we provide a language model as well to it. For that, we'll just use copy paste or chat OpenAI, local chat OpenAI node. And for this, we can, certainly just say 4.0. So as of January 2025, I'm still comfortable using 0 and 01 and 3.5 Sonnet, certainly. But of course, the latest and the greatest. I've just had some issues with DeepSeek across some tool use. So I'm not good doing videos there just yet, just before figuring out. Do we have then what we need there? Yes. So there are then prompt templates that, looks like we do. We're going to go and say for now, Graph Cypher QA chain. And then I will copy and paste. You will find all of the stuff and text we use. So let me add that to, so just a simple description. And we're gonna, I'll zoom in, so we're currently on the chain. And we will connect it up to the tools. And then we can paste in our chain description, which is this. So a chain tool allows you to query my Neo4j graph Aura database. All right, and that looks like the chain tool now is set up. So then let's bring in the Stripe agent tool. By the way, we are in Flowise today. Maybe I should have asked an agent to do a script. Man, I'm using Flowise, but this stuff that I'm building can be replicated in BotPress, replicated in LangFlow, raw LangChain, right? I'm not about the architecture. It's more about you might not find tools here and there or specific ones, but what we're really trying to cover is seeing just how far agents are able to go now and just how much kind of agentic control and their own agency they can have. So Stripe agent tool, drag it here. So that's connected and OAuth API'd into our Stripe. So everything is, this server. Okay, so I'm just going to connect that. And then inside of first let's connect it. And then when you go to open up the additional parameters, here you can give it all the different, or provision it with all the different basically permissions, right? So if you're building if fintech or finance integrations and products in that sense, this can be very powerful together with Composio Unlimited. So we're now able to have very deep agent reach, not I think across the board, but agents can now get into many accounts, not get into, but be operating in and doing proper work. So we can just add all the provisions, and we're not going to create for the purposes of this video and how we structure everything. So we're going to say read on payment links and then read on product. So as you could see, however deep your Stripe ecosystem is or series of actions for the client or whoever you're building it for, you can definitely do either very specific and restricted. By the way, the key that connects, it's a restricted key that you can also define and protect inside the Stripe dashboard. So since a lot of people are still very Stripe dependent, the reach of action that we have within Stripe is pretty extensive. So things can be retrieved, things can be pushed and managed, updated. So it's a very cool thing. So we're just going to set these two for now. And then let's do let's see. Yeah. So we're going to give it access to a couple of custom tools. And if you're wondering what custom tools are and why they're called that, or essentially, but it's functions and tools. It's the ability for the agent to execute and carry out very specific functionality. Go to an API, so a specific endpoint of an API with a ton of different parameters and get data that is not available from any kind of Google or even Exa or any of these scraping methods, right? So a very different approach. So we're going to do a couple of custom tools here that will extend our agents and native LangChain's modules that we're using, their functionality greatly. I do have a video and we'll be doing more soon of building out these custom tools. But basically what it looks like is in our library here, there's over 300 fully functioning working tools that do all sorts of things, and mostly it's get and post work. It's a huge library that covers different things. So when you think about building an organization and starting to departmentalize these things, this custom tool thing with just the right, let's say it's finance. As you can see, we have a pretty well developed finance thing. So there's 112 or so finance. It's very like black skulls, calculator, getting Greek values on investment trading. It's all sorts of pretty sophisticated things. So the more of these that you have connected in a single canvas, which then interfaces with other Chatflow canvases, in our case, it's called Chatflow Canvas if you're using Flowise. If you're using something else, the custom tool library, the function set that is essentially available as a first-hand property to your tool agent class or assistant, whatever you're using, is the biggest and most advanced thing that I would say for that can be done. So basically all the base stock stuff is, yes, bread and butter, but if I'm a finance person, I need my agent to call exactly the APIs that I do, because in the future we will have this, I think, I don't know, dichotomy or just a spread of duties where some things we still just want to do manually and some things we never want to touch. So there's just a huge kind of array. And when we're able to properly give our agent or fleet of them just the right toolkit, then they're very infrequently going to mess that up, as we will see once we start running this prompt script through our build. So we're going to do a couple of things with it. I'm going to type in weather, so we just have a simple API connection here. We're going to grab the weather, then custom tools as you're setting them up. So yeah, if you have experience with building them, and if you have a lot of calls, as in perhaps some of you seen in my other builds or canvases I have, for some of the finance products that we use, we really connect them to a lot of different institutional finance trading data sources, because yeah, there's just so much data. And let's see, we're going to grab this tool. Gonna connect that. Okay, so this next tool is a time zone. So these are like utilities, just so that you want it to be whenever it needs to consult certain things and know. I'm gonna move that over, actually set the retriever tool here. So yeah, as you see me doing, or seeing other people, or you yourself just have an approach, of course, right or wrong way to doing these canvases. So if you're new to Flowise, you can do it many different ways. And if they're less busy than this, then often it's just a more straightforward linear approach. I found for my purposes that it's really effective to do these grids, because then you have you just know, okay, if something's wrong, I can go to that node. Since we're heavily visual here and are not in our raw code form, so let's do a couple more tools here.